Good day, everyone. My name is Mrs. Atinike Ogundipe, a level 1 yada. Well, I'm repeating level 1. I want to thank God for the gift of TIP. Before I joined TIP, I was just doing parenting the way I knew how to do it. But joining TIP, everything has changed for me. I got to know about TIP from one of my members and his sister, Mrs. Kemini Raymond, who is Uyo Yada. And fortunately, we were transferred out of Uyo, so I couldn't really meet her to get more. And I was so skeptical. So I needed somebody that was there that I could talk to. And thank God, while we got to Warri, I met the coordinator of Warri Yadas in person of Zizokareje, Benedicta, who spoke with me and allayed my fears about TIP. And I swift into action, joined TIP. And to the glory of God, it's been a roller coaster. I've not regretted that step. TIP has made my journey easier, my parenting journey easier, even my personal life. It has made me know that there is nothing that is bigger than me, so to say. As a pastor's wife in the Redeemed Christian Church of God, we deal with women, we deal with children, we deal with everybody. So TIP has made me to be more empathic about people. TIP has made me to see things in different ways. TIP has made me to speak against so many anyhowness. Yes, I now got more boldness to speak, because before I used to be a very timid person, being a phlegmatic, but TIP has made this better for me. So I want to appreciate God for Coach Wendy, and I want to say TIP is not just a thing, it's a movement. Please just join. That's just what I can say. Once you join, you will understand what I'm saying. Thank you very much for this privilege. God bless you.
Yes, we are live. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you for being here. Welcome again to another episode of My Intentional Parenting Journey. And yes, Coach Wendy is in the building. She's with us. She's going to come up and she's going to be here soon, right? So if you're just joining us and this is your very first time, you're welcome. You're very welcome, because we don't just do parenting. We do it as, parenting is a calling, is an assignment, and that's why every morning we show up here to learn from other parents who have actually walked through this journey. And today we'll have in the building Mrs. Funmilayo Abayowa. Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm sorry for calling your name, please.
That's okay.
Founder of the Exceptional Virtuous Women Network. Thank you so much for showing up here. And please do not forget, if you're just joining, shout out to Coach Wendy Ologi, our Mama Cathedral. Ma, we honor you and we celebrate you and we love you for showing us this part. And if you're just listening to me, you're here, please do not forget to click on the like button, share the like button, invite your friends and family, invite teachers, invite any parents who is around you. You never can tell. Today might be the day for them. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming up here. You're most very welcome. Ma'am, we would like to start from the beginning. I would like to know how you learned about the Inner Circle program. And since you joined the Inner Circle program, what has shifted for you? What is that impression you've had? What has the Inner Circle, the Intentional Parent Academy Inner Circle program done to your life, your marriage, your career, and every angle of your life? Take it from wherever angle you like. We are here for you, ma. The floor is all yours. Thank you, and over to you, ma.
Thank you so much. Before I start, I just want to say, can you hear me?
Yes, clearly, ma.
Okay, awesome. So before I start, I want to say a big shout out and a big thank you to our mama, Coach Wendy. Thank you so much, ma. Thank you for this platform, for the opportunity to come and share my journey. Thank you for TIP. God will bless you. As God will bless you immeasurably. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Where do I start from? Okay, from the very beginning. All right. I got I knew about Coach Wendy when I saw a post on Facebook around 2022. It was 2022 then, yes. And I was like, she posted something I can't really remember. But I was like, who is this woman? She's making sense. And then I followed her, and somehow I found myself in the Telegram community. I was like, this is a parent coach. Hey, parent coach. Do we need parent coach in this 21st century? Like, do we, as a, my ideology is that once you've given birth, parenting is innate, right? Once we are able to give birth, you should know how to parent. So why do we need a parent coach? So I stayed in the Telegram group, and then they started advertising the inner circle. I said, so come and pay money to learn about parenting. How do I have to learn about parenting? Maybe our parents parented us and they did not go to any school for parenting. There was no special training, no special um no special thing. They didn't do any special thing. And then, like Coach Wendy we say, we turned out well. I turned out well. So why do I need to go and pay somebody to come and learn about parenting? And so I was there. And I would see the post. I was like, this thing is making sense. So, and then when it was time for the annual parenting conference, annual therapy conference, I joined all the session. I was wow. And I said, okay, let me just book. Let's just book. Maybe they say we should book with 5,000. Let me just book and let's see. We'll see as it goes. Maybe not. And so I booked and I was looking, I was still following from outside. I was like, anyway, I don't think anything I need. I'm getting it. I'm getting from the post, I'm getting from Tuesday Live, and I can just follow that. So when it was November 2023, and it was getting close. I had the money. It was not I had the money, but I was like, why would I pay? It just didn't make sense to me. That why would I pay to come and learn parenting? As the who does that? Where is it? Where did they do that from? And something the Holy Spirit was just like, just pay this, just try it. After all, if it's not even working out, then the next year you will not even join. You have the money now, just pay. And so when it was November 29th, I remembered I joined quarter to closing time. So I just said, okay, let me just say, let's see. And I paid. I was added to the court, and then there were instructions. And December 1st, during the induction, I said there's going to be induction. I said induction. Are we going to school? Is this a school or a training center? Maybe it's just to come and be sharing tips about parenting and just to give us ideas on how to parent. So during the induction ceremony, it was something like I've seen before. I was like, this thing is serious. Like, these people are serious. Okay, let's see. And the first thing they said is you have to have a family value and family media guide. Family value. What is the meaning of that? It has never crossed my mind. I never thought of the fact that you need to have a family value guide. I said, okay. Because we tend to parent based on how we are parented. Even my parents we didn't do anything like that. I can see that we were parenting anyhow. So there was no structure, there was nothing, and that was how I was parenting. I felt like we were all right. And so I told my husband that in the new academy that I joined, though, they said we should do family value. So let us come together and come up with our family value guide. And that was the first time we thought about, okay, what are values as a family? Then I realized that we didn't have a written value. We just did things as we go. We just know that we are honest. We just know that we don't do these things. We just know that but it wasn't written down. It wasn't put somewhere. And so when we started creating the family value, we did the family vision and mission. I never knew that we should put our vision and mission still as a family. We do that for organizations. As an organization, you need to know your vision, your mission, all that. But it didn't occur to me that as a family, we have to do that. And I was like, this one is due. Okay, let's do it. And then there's a family media guide. So we had these children, they're still small children. Now, what did they know? How do you have to teach them media guide? And so we did that. So I want to say, before I entered the inner circle, we were parenting anyhow. Let me just say it like that. I remember that we put our children in front of TV. But that was one of the first breakthrough. It was TV to TV. When they get back from school and, they are done with their own phone, we just put on the TV. And, that we should think when you subscribe for STV, Go TV, so subscription will not waste now. So we say, let the children be watching cartoon. We had their favorite cartoon. And then the ideology then was that once you are able to streamline the children's program, they had their programs, and they're able to sometimes you sit down and watch it with them. We knew their favorite cartoons, Sophia the First, PJ Mask, all of those things. Even we knew the characters. So we were Coach Wendy. So good to see you, man.
Hi, Bumi, please continue.
All right. So we knew their favorite characters, cartoon characters. We'll sit down with them sometimes. Sometimes we'll leave them and say, okay, let's just check. Okay, they are actually the content is clean, and they will sit in front of the TV. In fact, they got to a point that they started, they saying themselves as this character. For PJ Masks, my first one will say, me, I am Catboy. My second boy will say, I am Gecko. Their sister is Owlet. We are the PJ Masks. And I was like, okay, which one is this one again? But it didn't occur to us that, the TV was programming the children. And so the first thing, one of the first session I learned was that about screen addiction. And I first thought that, okay, so putting the child in front of the TV is too much, is not good. I said, I thought but I was arguing myself that things to learn on TV. Now we put programs that they will learn. They will learn on TV. I didn't know that my children were getting addicted to screen. My first son was getting addicted that if you send him to go and bring something, his eyes will remain on the TV and he'll start walking backwards. And just because he doesn't want to miss the show. If when you're watching a program, say, Mommy, when are you going to be done with your program? So I can watch my own program. Like they had their own programs. Like so I can watch my own programs. And then my 18-month-old daughter, I went online, I looked for all the, the all this ABCD 1 2 3, the ABCD song, Coco Melon, everything. I put everything in the flash and I said, okay, now that you're 18 months, I'm going to put you. I gave her a TV, the TV in my room. So this is Squeeze TV. The one in the parlor is the way and King's own. so once they are done in the morning and they've had breakfast, just stay in front of the TV. I said, I don't know that. I created the flash. The flash was the 64 gig. So it was all full of, I spent like 3 days gathering all the materials for her. And then only for me to come and then in a session, said, screen is not recommended for children under 2 years. I looked at myself and like, my second son started watching screen since it was 3 months. We would play Coco Melon for him because we loved the way that Coco Melon attracted him. And so we're like, so that they will let us rest because there can be a lot, so that their attention is always fixated on the TV. So we're like, this is even letting us have time on our own. And so when I heard that, I said that the first screen is not for less than 2 years. Yeah. And then I watched the session. I said, oh God, I saw the flash in my hand. And I saw the stress I went through downloading everything. I said, what is this one again? This Parenting Academy. This one is okay. So if we don't give them screen, what do we give them? And Coach Wendy will say, replace the screen with other activities. And so we now decided that, okay, children, no more screen any hour again. And so we went to the bookstore. We got Legos, we got puzzles, we got books. Now that time my son was 5. He was 5. My son loved to read. I didn't know that he loved to read, but because we have been putting him in front of the screen, he doesn't even pay attention to books. But when immediately we took them off screen, we bought Legos, we bought puzzles. We actually he started paying attention to his surroundings. And before I knew, I didn't know when my son started reading, because he would see something, he can see a print on a carton, and he would try to read it. And I realized that they actually love the Lego. They will build a lot of things. They'll say, Mommy, see, this is a giraffe. This is an antelope. I'll say, oh, well done. And over time, they forgot about TV. Now my children don't even ask me. I actually put on the TV in my house. The TV is there. In fact, if we stop subscribing, that was the first thing we stopped doing. We stopped subscribing for Go TV. They've called my husband. They've called him tired. We've not seen your subscription. There is a bonus. And I say, thank you very much. Okay, no problem. We stopped subscribing to Go TV, and over time, we're able to take their attention from screen, and we're able to take their attention from, and they blended, and I was like, wow. So before I entered TIP, Hey, I struggled. It was overwhelmed upon overwhelmed because I didn't understand the kind of children I had. And I was just trying to do a EJ, like, let's try this one, let's try that one. And it's not working. And I used to be a yeller. Like any small thing, I would just say, what is wrong with you, this child? Any small mistake. I'm a perfectionist. I love everything prim and proper. So when a child now makes the mess, I'm like, why are you making this mess? What is wrong with you? Don't you know that you should not do this? And when we had TIP, my coach said, parenting is mess. I said, eh? What are you saying? Parenting is mess. You mean I have to be able to deal with the mess? I said, okay, we have entered this one. And coach said, your child is a child and will always behave like a child. See, that was one of my greatest deliverance. And for the first time, my perspective towards my children changed. I started seeing that, okay, these children are children. So children will always make a mess. I said, okay, coach. You know how we come with in the inner circle, we have something we say humility, but that you sometimes after some where you come from, so for some webinar like this, you just be like, you're coming to learn parenting, Abi. It's you that receive the bad boost. We think that parents, I entered the inner circle to learn how to parent my children. But I found out that it's me that is being parented. My life has transformed. A lot of things have changed for me. And it has become easier. My second son does not like to eat his food. He doesn't really like to eat, so he binge eats. And most times he would not finish his breakfast. He would just touch it and then say, I'm done. And I'll be like, you have to finish your food. I've threatened him, I've beaten him, I've done all sorts of things. But the guy was not changing. So in that cycle, we learned about consequences, having to teach the child about consequences of your actions. Actions are consequences. As I just studied that day, I said, okay, in this house, we don't waste food, right? So we finish your food. So if you don't finish your food, no problem. I'm just going to pack it for you and keep it for you, and you come back and eat it. So that morning, as usual, when we were dressing up for school, he eats his food again. He ate food and he was dressing up. They were dressing up for him. And then I said, oh, you didn't finish your food. Oh, no problem. Anybody that does not finish their food, they will not carry their lunchbox to school. No lunchbox. I'll pack the food. That is what you carry to school. And coach, it was like magic. My son said, leave me. I want to go and finish my food. I said, eh? No yelling, no beating, no threatening. Coach, he went and he finished the food. I said, eh? So you can finish this food? You have been stressing me since. He finished the food. He said, Mommy, see, I finished my food. I said, well done. Thank you. Oh, you can carry your lunchbox. I said, okay, now. It's like, this thing is working. No, this thing is working. Coach, every morning, the shouting in the morning, it was be ready once. When we are getting ready for school, we have to shout, hey, where are you? Have a party. Come here, I've not worn your shoe. We are going to get late, oh. And coach, all the shouts, you still get to school late. Sometimes you don't meet assembly. I say, what is this one? What is this one? See, one thing that inner circle has taught me is structure. I didn't know that parenting needed structure. That we need to put in structure in our parenting. You know, I'm what kind of person. I don't like to journal. Like I put things in my head, and when I want to do things, I just put in my head and say, okay, this is what I want to do, and that's all. If my husband said one day, he told me, he said, your brain is a processing machine. It's meant for thinking, not for storage, not to store things. Because I don't like to put things down, coach. As in, if you say, okay, let's have a to-do list. Then we now entered inner circle. Coach said, let's start journaling. I say, journaling. I say, why do I have to journal? Everything is arranged in my head. Journaling. I struggled with journaling. First year of inner circle, I don't think I journaled a whole full month because I was like, hey, in fact, I was dreading journaling because I wasn't used to it. And why would I come and be putting things down? I will start thinking about what did I do, what have I not done. But I found that the journaling thing helped. Because in the process of journaling, that's when I remember that, oh, what have I achieved today? It was journaling that helped me see my little wins while implementing the strategy in the inner circle. It was generally the helped me see little way. So structure, I didn't know we needed structure. So we're just doing things anyhow. I just did that we have to go to school early. There was no structure. We didn't have a time to wake up. We didn't have time. We are leaving home. And we were just doing it. And we would yell, hey, you this boy, enter the bedroom and have a bath. What are you doing in the bedroom? You know, my children, you tell them to but they'll come and play with water for 20 minutes. And I'll be like, can you not just be fast? Can you do not be time conscious? Be time conscious. And it was like that, like that. But see, I just thought that we did not put structure inside this thing. And coach, immediately we put structure. We just had a family meeting. Yes, before inner circle, I didn't know family meeting was a thing. We never had a family meeting like family meeting. So when it was part of it to have a family meeting, that means theme of the month. So all these things said. So when we had a family meeting and we allowed them to talk, I just realized that my sons came and said, I said, okay, what don't you like about mommy? I said, we don't like the way you shout on us. I said, we don't like the way you beat us. Correcting you now. He said, no, I don't. I said, okay, what would you have me do instead? My first son said, I prefer give us consequences. I said, consequences. So I used to shout on you. You know, it was only, you know, coach would tell us that, sorry, from just take it. Take humility, but don't say, it's me, your mother, Abby. I have to take it with humility. I say, see this children that I'm, do you know what I've been doing for you? Do you know? And then I started realizing that I need to stop yelling. And true, coach, I used to yell, hey, just do something. For my voice would have gone up, and I have high pitch. If I didn't know I was even yelling, I used to yell for my husband. So once it does something wrong, I say, oh God, who did this? This one, that. And then I just told myself, I used to yell. So this is having effect on these children. But that's what they say. You have to shout on the child to correct the child now. You know, and I realized that was how we are parents. And when I was being parented like that, I told myself that I will not parent my child like this. In fact, I will do better. I will do better. And I know many of us say that. But eventually we find out that we are doing the same thing because we didn't know better. We are doing the same thing because we didn't know better. So I told my son, okay, I'm sorry, I'm working on myself. You see, I'm in a parenting academy. I'm working on myself, and I will try to stop yelling and stop beating. You know, the way we are trained, once a child makes mistake, you will give the barun abara. They know, my children know, I will give you one abara now. So they know abara, I will give you one barun now once you do this thing. So, and then that time I didn't because I didn't like mess. I didn't allow my children to do anything. And they will want to do my daughter started wearing her shoes since 1 year, from 1 year old. She stopped people feeding her. She will tell you, don't feed me. And I was like, what kind of so you have grown, Abby? You know, instead of me to sit at something very good and nurture it, I say, hey, see this girl. So you have grown. Like why we are 1 year, we should not feed you again. Can you imagine? And she insisted. I said, okay, leave her. She has grown. And she started doing this by herself. But you know why they are doing it? They will make a mess. I remember if I'm trying to mop, they will take the mop with water and smell water everywhere and say, Mommy, I say I'm mopping. I say, who sent you? Give me my mop. Give me the mop. Don't give it to me. And then when I learned that parenting is in the mess, and children will make mess. So I started allowing them. The first time I allowed my children to wash plates, my first son and the second son. Coach, if you see my kitchen, they used a whole soap. My kitchen was like swimming pool. I said, Coach, when I entered the kitchen, I said, it is well, calm down. I calm down. I said, oh, where do I know you people? You don't. When I saw the soap, my head was hot. I said, calm down. Parenting is in the mess. It's in the mess. Calm down. And I told them, they washed the plates. It was not clean after using all the old soap, but they washed it. And I said, oh, okay, now that people have poured the water in this thing, you know that when you make a mess, you clean it up. He said, okay, man. And they were so eager. They went to grab the mop and they clean it. I said, And even eventually, we washed the place. But over time, coach, now, My 7-year-old can wash plates very clean. He washes dishes. He doesn't waste water again. He doesn't waste soap. My 5-year-old sweeps. He lays the bed very clean. In fact, now what we are doing is we are learning how to cook. This morning, my 5-year-old and my 3-year-old, they made the custard they had to school. They made the custard they ate to school. My 5-year-old can wash plates and wash clothes. There was something happened one day, and we just got back from church, and I entered the kitchen with someone to just make lunch. And I told them, go and undress and pack your clothes inside the laundry basket and start preparing for school before breakfast, before the lunch is ready. As I didn't know that, coach, your children, their room, they were playing about, they scattered, and they now poured water on their bed. On the floor, on the bed, there was water. So imagine we after coming back from church, I entered the kitchen straight. I was so tired and exhausted. I just entered the room. I saw everywhere messed up. My head, I wanted to scream that, what is wrong with these children? I just said, calm down. I said, oh, well done, oh, you people, well done. All right, you know how it is. When you make a mess, you do what? You clean it up. So before you eat, you have to clean up your room. You clean everywhere. If you don't clean up your room, there is no food. And I just walked out. Coach, if you see the way they were scampering, even my 3-year-old was like, Mommy, where is mop? I want to clean the water. I said, yeah, this is mop now. And they cleaned everywhere. As a coach, they made the mess and they cleaned it. I was like, wow, where would I have learned this from if not from inner circle? The me before CIP, hey, they would have, in fact, they would be serving punishment after beating them. All of you need down there. Is that what you're supposed to do? I am in the kitchen slaving. Are you quiet? They would have knelt down, and guess what? I will clean it. I said, I add it to my stress. You add it to this thing, and I will clean it. But coach, they cleaned it. Their bed was wet. I said, you will carry this bed outside by yourself, but know that this night all of you are sleeping on the mat. I'm like, no. I said, if you wet your bed, you will sleep on the mat. Actions have consequences. There's no this way, you'll be all right. I said, you'll be very all right. My son was like, Mommy, I always say you'll be all right, you'll be all right. I will not be all right. I said, no, come. You will be very, very all right. Not you. Is anybody dying? Nobody is dying, and nobody will die. And if anybody wants to die, don't worry, we'll pray you back to life. You'll be all right. And that night, I spread mat for them, and I said, good night, everyone. Let's say our prayers. My second son was like, he started crying. I said, oh, you think I will allow you into my room? No. As you lay your bed, so you lie on it. Once you put on your bed, you shall lie on the mat. And coach, they lied on the mat. Do you know, since that day, they never poured water on their bed. I didn't have to beat. I didn't have to shout. I didn't have to do any drama. It was just letting them know that when you do this, there's consequence and you will face it. And by that, they just corrected themselves. They did not, even with all they are playing, they never poured water on the bed again, even my 3-year-old. I say, wow, how would I have learned this from, if not for the inner circle? There was something that happened. Thank God for the inner circle. My son came, they had always watched these TV shows, PJ Maxx, Disney Junior. In fact, we are always on Disney Junior, Vampirina, all those Sophia the First, Elena of Avalon. I know everything. If I know the song, we used to sing it together. Elena of Avalon. We will sing when it's time for Elena of Avalon. All of us will just be watching it. Hey God, thank God for it. Thank God for therapy. Ha. And so one day my son got back from school, and all I was asking was, it was in the inner circle where I learned that you ask your child, not just how was your day. Okay, tell me about school today. What did you learn? How many of your classmates came? What happened in school? Not just how was your day. My day was fine. So I sat down with him, and I was like, oh, what happened in school? And I said, Mom, I even want to tell you something. I say, okay. I say, Mommy, do you know that boy can change into girl? Hey, coach, When I heard that, my head first of all do boom. I said, eh? I said, eh? You say, yes now. You watch it in the cartoon. Boy can become a girl and girl can become a boy. I say, my life. My head was hot first. And then I remembered. Say, calm down. Calm down. Now this is a teaching moment for you. Teaching moment. Don't freak out, don't flip out. Because what have you been learning in school? If I hear that, maybe before in the inner circle, I will see, if I hear that from your mouth again, I will beat you. What is the meaning of that? Do you know what you're saying? I said, calm down. I took 10 breaths. I said, oh, why do you think that? Who told you that? So my friends were saying it, and they watched in the cartoon. I said, and coach, by this time we had stopped them from watching TV. We had stopped them from watching TV. So what we did was we said, okay, during school days, Mondays to Fridays, no TV. Watch TV once in a week, and that's on Saturday. And after you finish watching the TV, you will come and tell me what you learned. If you cannot tell me what you learned, no TV until further notice. And so I said, God, where do I start from? Where do I start from? And I knew that if I did not handle this well, Baba, he won't tell me anything again, and I won't have taught him what he needed to do. So, and I said, okay. And I started giving him scenario. I said, in a playful man, I said, can ants change to a dog? He said, no. Okay. Can cats become an elephant? He said, no. Okay, let's get. Can snake become a bird? He said, no. So I gave him examples like that. And so you see, it is not possible for a boy to become a girl. See, once God has created you to be a boy, you're a boy and you will grow up to be a man like daddy. I said, you see, daddy was once a boy like you. And you see, mommy was once a girl like Queen. So girl cannot change to a boy. I was a little girl and you see me, have I changed to a boy? Say, no. I say, people that think like that, they are sick, they are not well. We need to be praying for them. But you see, we are very okay. We know the right thing. And this is just, as you are like this, one day you will grow up to be an handsome man like daddy. You say, yes, I want to be like daddy. I say, yes. So you're a boy and I love you as a boy. And then I now realized that. So after that session, since that time, he always say, I'm a boy, you're a girl. You know, as in, we tell the sister, I'm a boy, Zoe is a boy, Queen is a girl. And it became a thing. And since that time, he didn't mention it again. Like, he had the understanding. I was able to turn that moment where I could have freaked out or flipped and, into a teaching moment to let him know that some things are not possible. And then I told my husband to have a one-on-one with him. So he took him out and they had a man-to-man. He told me they had a man-to-man talk, and he said something that really melted me. I said, Daddy, one day I want to grow up to be like you. And I was like, As in, when my husband came and told me, I was like, wow. And I said, thank God for inner circle. I would have messed this up. I would have messed the whole thing up. I would have messed it up. And there are many, many, many things. Many things. Coach, thank God I didn't put my child in front of TV. But my daughter is one of the best recipients. When coach will say, if your child is a teenager, 10,000 lions are chasing you. When I started when my first son was 5 years old, my second son was 3, and that one we paid, in fact, from 6 months old, he was in front of TV. I had videos of him in front of TV. We played this black sheep, will be dancing. So he was the one that was most affected with TV. And after immediately we took them off TV, coach, my son started, it wasn't up to 5 months. My first son started reading fluently. And when I saw him read, I was like, from where to when? How? He started reading fluently, now discovered that he loved to read. So we started buying him books. He would take books and he would read. He started reading Bible. We started being intentional about bedtime. Before that time, coach, bedtime is anyhow. Anytime they like, they sleep. Sometimes my kids will be awake 11:30. Oh, go and sleep. Go and sleep. I'm ready to sleep. Everybody go and sleep. And because me and my husband, I don't sleep early. He was still happy that he's teaching me how to sleep early because most times I do my work in the midnight. So I sleep around 2. So we did not see any reason to put them to there was no structure. It was just anyhow, no bedtime ritual, no bedtime routine. So it was just anytime you sleep, sometimes they will fall asleep on the chair, we just take them in the room and 11:30. I was just looking at them. It's 11:30. You these children, go and sleep, go and sleep. So I will lock them inside the room. So when I learned structure in the inner circle, I say, hey, this any awareness must even stop. So we now put a structure and we said, okay, dinner time is 7 o'clock, bedtime is 8 o'clock. And coach, immediately we came together and we put it together because I let in the inner circle that you should make the children involved. When they are involved in the decision making, it helps them. So we said, okay, and we did that during the family meeting. So this is we are putting a structure in place. So dinner time is 7 and bedtime is 8. By the time we started implementing the structure, coach, now my children are asleep 8:30. They've gone to bed. We've gone to bed. In fact, my son actually now, I now realize he likes bedtime stories. He will say, Mommy, tell us bedtime stories. I say, I don't have time to be reading stories. But right after the next, like, we have to tell them bedtime stories. And so we'll come together. Most times, before I finish reading the stories, they're already asleep. I say, so is this easy? I didn't have to scream. I didn't have to shout. I didn't have to, just to put structure. I said, I did not know how any harmness was actually wasting my time and energy. And it was actually affecting them. Right now, my second son has started reading. Little by little, we're able to take. Now it does not even in my house. Now nobody even sends the TV. The TV is like a decoration. When they want to watch this thing, is Coach Ebuka. And I'm coming to that. I'm coming to the Coach Ebuka's part. Thank God for inner circle. So my 3-year-old coach, my 3-year-old, she's reading. And my daughter, that my small daughter, she's reading now. I saw her reading last week and I was like, I didn't even know how to feel. At 3-year-old, she has started reading. She's the one that she didn't really do. In fact, the guy didn't even like TV. She does not like watching TV. I said maybe they are singing. So she's reading now, if not for the inner circle. How would I have managed that? How would I have managed? There was a lot of any awareness. A lot. When my son now washes his clothes. In fact, okay, my son it was in a second is a kinesthetic learner and is a sanguine, extreme sanguine. My son cannot sit down in one place. In fact, if you want to punish him, my first son, you tell him sit down, they have given him the worst punishment of his life. So we didn't know how to manage it. It was so we to sit down before you know the guy has around again. What kind of a attack is this? What is wrong with this boy? Can you not just be orderly one time like that? Can you not just sit down in one place? Must you run around? So when we go out, go to church or somewhere, he will play, and because he's running everywhere, it would dirty his trouser. And I keep telling you, I'll tell him, you need to make sure that your trouser is not dirty. Hey, when I wash it, I people try to explain to that when we wash it, my hand used to pay me. I have to scrub and scrub and scrub. The guy didn't understand. So one day I told him that as you're wearing this trouser, once it's dirty, you are gonna wash it. He thought I was joking. He didn't know that rules have changed. No any honest again. So when he came back, the trouser was dirty as usual. I said, "Oh, well done, welcome, well done." So it removed that trouser, put it in the bucket, put water and soap. You're going to wash it. And he was like, but mom, I thought I'm going to use washing machine. I said, no, bro, you're going to wash it with your hand. He said, but mommy, you use washing machine now. I said, before I started using washing machine, I used to wash with my hand. This one, I'm going to wash it with your hand. And so it started. The next time I heard coach, he was like, this thing is too hard. I said, no, did I wear the trouser with you? Is it not you that wore the trouser? Wash it now. And let me tell you, see, the dirtier the trouser is, the more you have to scrub. So let me teach you how to scrub. You scrub like this. You scope. And he started crying. I said, if you like, stay there 2 hours until this trouser is neat. You will not leave here. And that was how he stayed. He said, I finished washing. So I said, look at it. You see, there is dirty here. It's not clear. Put soap and scrub it. When you wash the trouser, coach, do you know that the next day, the trouser he wore out, when he came back, the trouser was clean. I did not sit in it. He said, Mommy, see, my trouser is clean. I said, well done. That's good. And so that means that you don't have to scrub so much when you want to wash. And for that, I said, okay, now you will start washing your trousers. Praise the Lord. You will start washing your trousers by yourself. And without shouting, after I've shouted, yelled, beating, why are you so rough? Why can't you take care of yourself? Just a simple structure, a simple process. They learned. I used to think before that these children are too small to do anything. They are just too small. Like, I would like, I'm always afraid, even for them to enter kitchen. Hey, go out! Once we see them in the kitchen like this, coach, go out. Don't come and mess up everywhere for me. Don't come and spoil. Don't come and give me work. Coach, I cannot even send my child to go and buy something in the neighborhood. And then he came the next step and said, we need to teach them how to relate. In fact, another of my greatest believers is that you cannot parent a child inside the bedroom. I heard this in the inner step and say, hey, because the idea is, let me protect my child. Let me keep my child. Coach, when this coach came that day and said, it is not your job to protect your child. See, that day, coach, it me like, I said, Coach, why are you mentioning my name now? I want to protect these children. Say, no, your job is to train them. Leave the protection from God. I say, hey, it is not your job to protect this child. I said, okay. No, we should be trying all these things. See, when you teach them before you launch them. And so, coach, we've been teaching them. I would take them to buy this and I'll say, okay, yeah, relate with the person selling. Say, okay, what do you want to buy? Yeah, pay. So when it was time for me to launch, my heart was doing big. But coach, do you know now? My son goes to the neighborhood to buy. In fact, that's relieved my stress. He goes the first time he wanted to go. I said, hey, okay, I know I've taught you, but coach said we should have to launch. Let us even practice what we have been teaching these days. Let's know where we are and where we are going. So I told him, I go and buy bread from this woman across the street. And coach, my son went to, and he came back with bread. Nothing happened to him. Nobody carried him. And I said, wow, my face. If not because of the inner circle, I will know that I have to teach them. We protect them. We take them to school. Car go, car come. In fact, we started when we learned that these children don't even know how to get to school on their own. Hey, me and my husband, then we started. So we would put them on Okada and tell them to enter keke to school. So my husband will follow from a distance. We went with them for a week, and then that's my first son and second son. We did not try with the girl because she's still small. Very soon she was start own training, and realized that they were even eager. These boys, see people were carrying with car, they were eager to enter bike. When we tell them they're going to enter bike today, you see the way these ones will be jumping. I say, I don't understand for you. We are jumping to enter bike. Or jumping to enter bike. You are eager to enter keke, and they will be jumping and they will be excited. And so my children took keke. In fact, the first time the teacher saw, was like, why people allowing them to enter keke? I said, they're in training. They are training because God forbid they should be able to get to school from home. And so for some time they were going to school in keke. They will pay the keke driver and collect change. I say, wow. So you people are capable of this. You people are capable of doing this. Thank God for the inner circle. If not, their abilities, I would unintentionally trap their abilities. Thank God for the inner circle. And how about the language? The way coach said, your children, your child under 7-year-old is capable of learning several languages. I say, hey, I've shortchanged these children. It's always English. You need to speak English. We brought them up with English. We didn't even think to even speak our language, to speak Yoruba. And that was how I was brought up. In my house, My parents brought us up with English. It was later in life we started learning Yoruba. Even till now, my Yoruba is not really that smooth. It's not that smooth. And I'm like, I cannot even speak my native language. Like I am from Ijesha. I cannot speak Ijesha. My mommy's language she cannot speak, but my daddy can speak is Ijesha. My mom can speak Egba. My mom can speak Ijesha, but I cannot speak. And so after the webinar, I said, we are not going to repeat this mistake. So we started. So we have a day where we speak pidgin English. We have a day on Fridays, we speak pidgin. Everybody relates with pidgin. Then I realized my children don't even understand our language. God forbid, if anything happens, I might even tell your child, oh, yeah, so something. They will go somewhere and they are lost. I said, no. This parlor is too small to raise this. We have to train these children for the world. And so we started. So Saturdays is for Yoruba. We speak Yoruba throughout anyhow. I will speak Yoruba. My son will say, what is that? I will not interpret it for him. Say, this is what it means. Today, yeah, say it. Say it. So we started, and now they're already starting to understand. If not for the inner circle, I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have known. I would have created my children anyhow. Let me stop here for now.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much, Funmilayo Abayowa. That was, quite a lot. And before Funmilayo continues, I want to tell you, don't try that thing she said she shared at home if you're not in the yard. You see this thing she just shared? Don't try it. People come to me and say, I've heard you say, oh, your 10-year-olds did this. Oh, your children started cooking when they were 6, blah, 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 blah. I just want to just jump in and just get it. Don't try it at home. Except your child is actually prepared to do these things, you can actually destroy them by doing it. I just said, let me share that disclaimer. Just in case you are feeling, hey, 7-year-old can go home. Me, I'm going to go home now. And I will just put them out there. Today, I'm actually teaching on a particular subject in the yard today. Never seen before kind of webinar like we say. It's called the 10 gates of parenting. And part of what I'm going to be teaching is that gates are not opened by age. It's opened by preparation. So it's not about the age of your child. Just in case you're listening to me and saying, oh, the child is 10 or is 20. No. Josiah was a king at 8. There are other children who cannot be kings at 80. So it's not about age. It's about preparation. It's about being able to be fit to actually be able to prepare that king. Alrighty, you're listening to Funmilayo Abayowa. Funmilayo Abayowa is the head girl of Ilori TIP. Awesome. Yes, I've met Funmilayo twice, and she's the founder of the Exceptional Virtuous Women Network. Awesome. Oh, Funmilayo was the person that brought me horse. Did you see me climbing horse? It was them, Ilori Yadas. Powerful people. Ilori Yadas are not so many, but powerful. They're like Kano Yadas. Shout out to you guys. Powerful state. You know how you have, mighty, just, number, but so mighty. Awesome something. And we hosted the TIP Summit in Lori this year. Awesome event. Shout out to you guys again in Lori others. That was awesome. I don't like animals. They wanted me to enter that animal. I had to climb a horse. There's nothing TIP. There's nothing TIP. I don't hear that cannot do. As in horse. I got to UK and they said, they were singing. People can say at least people did not bring horse. But let me tell you what happened to me. I came back with 3 boxes of gifts. I'm like, who does that? Now 3 full boxes. What is all of that now? I had to pay extra luggage, but I've made peace. I usually pay extra luggage on a flight because of the others. Shout out to you guys. I don't take it for granted. Yes. So you're listening to Funmilayo Abayowa. Awesome people, and shout out to your husband. I'm sure that he's somewhere. Pastor, I greet you, sir. That's listening, and well done. And she was saying something about her children on TV, and I know that's something that is very, very instructive, because when you enter inner circle, there are a lot of new yarders around me. So funny enough, I'm meeting more new yarders this year that are just coming in. Somehow they are bumping into me in the office or something, or seeing me in an event. Yesterday I was, somewhere at airport, and I just saw the person who was supposed to check in my sister, who was like, Ma, are you on a priority flight in Qatar? I said, I'm not going anywhere, please. He said, I'm a new yada. I'm an incoming yada. Who is traveling? I said, my sister. Just said, just I was like, come on now. What is all this? So I'm getting to meet more new yadas who are coming in, get prepared. But let me tell you, I'm not all smiles like this in the yard. Sometimes I can actually give you more smiles sometimes, but I'm a sweet coach. Don't mind them. They like to actually they like to paint me black. I'm not black, can't you say? I'm very light. Thank you so much again for joining us, Funmilayo Abayowa. And of course, she is sharing on my intentional parenting journey this morning, and she's sharing the details. She was able to give details down to the things that she's been able to do. She was talking about her children watching the screen. And sometimes, many times you actually think you know what you're doing. I remember sharing on social media one time. You see that Miss Rachel, you said that you're teaching your child things as in you're on your own. Miss Rachel, my children they learn colors, they learn how to, they can write, they can read. He's the Miss Rachel they've been watching. Hey, and all of that. And then when you are done, you actually literally, I've seen screen destroy children. It's bad. As in, it's bad. Honestly. It was at the camp this year we were in the US, and for TRP Summit, and Coach Ebuka was sharing of their experience in the camp in the US. It was horrific, to say the least. Children who were addicted to screen, who couldn't do it. It was so bad that they were literally shaking. So bad. You can actually there are a lot of risk. And when you say, oh, all these this thing that they are saying, oh, my children are really learning, you don't understand, and all of that. Your children are not learning. The screen doesn't really teach children at a particular age. That's the risk. Yes, they can learn while they're watching, but their brain needs to be able to develop to a very certain extent before that can happen. The problem is that when you put them on the screen, before that particular age, you rewire what it is, like how the brain should be. Okay? And of course, that can make a mess. Yesterday, I shared something on my wall, and I said that the greatest error in parenting is actually most times, you think I think that's one of the biggest, things in parenting. The scariest thing is about parenting, that you don't know when you are getting it wrong. And you know what? You don't even realize it until it's too late. You can love your child very deeply. You can love your child very deeply, and yet you mess up your child yourself. That's the scary part. So it's not the shouting or the mistake, that they don't even know that they are planting seeds that will grow into pain. That's the problem. Parenting doesn't show results immediately, unfortunately. It shows in 10, in 15, in 25, in 40 years. I was having a conversation with my friends, 3 of them yesterday, and I said to them, something happened. And I said to them, you see, this is the reason why when you hear me screaming, this is why. Because parenting, the results are unforgivable. The results, they are, how, I say that Abuja roads are unforgiving. You know how you drive through a particular route and you want to turn, you miss your road. You can even waste 1 hour. Remember the last time I was at the embassy, I had an appointment. I just missed one turn. In fact, they still asked me, or they told me that let them Let them drive me and say, I want to drive myself. I want to be by myself. Please, everybody stay on your own. I don't want any driver. I just want to be by myself today. I missed that one turn. It took me another, I missed my time just because of that. Right? I had to reschedule a time immediately. But that's what parenting does. It the result is not immediate. The result, you might not even see what you're doing today. The scars of wrong parenting, sometimes you can't erase the scars. You might upturn one or two things, but you can't erase it. All right. Every day you delay learning, you are rehearsing mistakes that will become patterns. Every single day. Every day you are saying, I'll join later, I'll join later. Your child is growing into a version that is shaped by today's decision. Unfortunately, you cannot postpone parenting. Your child's brain is wiring every single day. Their habits, their confidence, their self-worth, is forming under your watch. The question is not, can I afford to join in a cycle? That's not the question. The question is, can I afford not to? That's what you should be asking yourself. You need to stop guessing. The more you guess parenting, the more you pay the price. And you will pay it though. Oh, you will pay it. When I was done, with that conversation, a friend of mine said, you see this learning. If your child does not learn today, they will pay for it in adulthood. It doesn't matter. Go and review your own life. Every single one of us paid heavily for the things we didn't learn. Heavily. As I was saying it, my friend said, this thing you said, maybe I wasted 10 years learning a skill I could have learned as a child. It doesn't, if you are not reflective, you don't even know. If you are not reflective, it's only 23 days to go. Now your children are watching you lead. The question is, what lessons will they learn from you? So it's not really whether this parenting. The point is that when you are getting it wrong, you might not even know. That's the scariest part. That's the scariest part. And that's what scares me. That's what scares me about parenting. That's what will make me never to leave a learning circle for me. Because there are blind spots. You never see them. That's why they are called blind spots. The only person who can see a blind spot is somebody who actually has been given to see it. That's why you need people, mentors, coaches. You can't see further than yourself. You can also see beyond your knowledge. Yesterday, we had a whole family on my intentional parenting journey, a whole generation. Mother, child, husband, mother, father. Come on. You can't see beyond what you know. You can't see. And if those kind of things don't challenge you, that means there's something you are doing kind of parenting. That's the truth. You should wake up every day asking yourself, where am I going to? Let me wait for you people at the end at 10. Yeah, that's know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, forget about it. I think that I don't know if this is going to be the hottest webinar you will receive in this year. I feel that way. I'm not sure. But let's go. Just come with your yellow blanket and red trimmings. Don't forget it. You're listening to Funmilayo Abayowa.
Extra.
Thank you so much. Funmilayo is sharing on her journey. Funmilayo, please share with us. What will be your top 3 webinars? And in what ways have they changed your life?
Number one, all the webinars have changed my life. For my top 3, the first one on the list is who am I parenting? Coach, you see that webinar did something to me, rewired my brain, changed my perspective, changed my perception. Because I now sat down and realized that I didn't know who I was parenting. I was just parenting in blindness. the ideology that, oh, every child comes with a blank slate, and you just, is whatever you start writing on it. Coach said every child has a blueprint. See, the Who Am I Parenting webinar taught me that each of my child are different. I was parenting everybody together and say, yeah, let us be going one, all of us, let us be going together. So what I do for one, I do for all of them. And then I discovered that the responses were different. And I was like, why are you not responding like this person? So Who Am I Parenting taught me that my children, each one of them are unique and different. Each one of them have a blueprint. And there was one thing that never left me. Coach said, you are not parenting the child you are praying to have. You are not parenting the child that you wish to have. You have to parent the child that you have now. Coach, I didn't know that my first son, I was unconsciously starting to resent him because he was doing some stuff. He used to suck his tongue, and we corrected him, and I didn't always like it. So do you know that I didn't know that I was starting to resent my child? I didn't know that his love language is physical touch. He loves to hug, he loves people. And sometimes when it just comes, jump to me, I will just push away, say, go, I beg, leave me. I beg, leave me. So after that webinar, I sat down and I asked myself, who am I parenting? And I begin to see. I told myself, I'm not parenting the child that is in my head. I think we all have this image of a perfect child that we want our children to be, just that perfect, child, and like, this is my child. And then you look at reality and you are seeing this raw material that God has given you, and you're like, I don't even know what to do. Why can't you just become this child in my head? How can you not just become this child? Like, I'm thinking, why are you doing like this? And I started to see I started studying my child for who he is. He's a kinesthetic learner, he's a sanguine, he's aerobale. He jumps around. And then I realized that we have to teach this boy how to focus. He's easily distracted, but he's also creative. This one is very creative, very imaginative. Coach, this boy tells you story. If sometimes we say, I have a dream, from the dream, it would have entered another level of imagination. Yeah, I will know that this is outside imagining this thing. His imagination is very wild. And he's very smart, but he's easily distracted. And so even in school, they didn't understand. They said, King does not stay in one place. He does not stay in class. They have to I have to call the teacher and have to tell them that this is the kind of child he is. You have to help. We are teaching him how to focus. And so Who Am I Parenting taught me that each of my children are different and they have different needs. My second son, him, is very analytical. He has innate leadership skills. He listens to instruction, does not whine. You even think he's the first. Sometimes I said this one that if you're the one that is the first concept, my work could be easier, because why do I have to be stuck with this kind of person for his firstborn? And then I remembered that it is my job, my duty as a parent, to look for the greatness in this child and bring it out. That perfect child I'm seeing in my head, I have to carve it out of this child. I have to know who I am parenting. I don't have to assume that it's supposed to get it. So I started paying more attention. I learned his temperament. I learned his love language. I learned how to teach him. And right now we are actually on a journey of focus, of teaching how to focus and how to. Then my son does not like stress. See, anything that will stress him, once something is becoming too I'm not. It's too hard. Can you hear me, please? Can I be heard?
Yes, loud and clear. Loud and clear. We can hear you.
Can I be heard, please? I think I
Yes.
froze for a moment.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you, ma. And so okay, ma. And okay, ma. And so he will be like, this is too hard. I remember in the next school, they said, okay, we have to teach them how to swim. And when coach said swimming skill is not just an skill, it's a life skill, I said, oh, God, all of you, we enrolled for swimming lessons. The first week, it was, the coach was just, it was not fun. And when it got to the nitty-gritty, my son wanted to give up. I said, no, 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 we ain't giving up. I said, I'm going to drown. I said, you will not drown. Don't worry, this one we see it through. You will not drown. You can do it. I'm like, and sometimes it would do it. It would do 20 laps. Go. I said, say you can do it. And we actually had to pay attention to okay, this boy needs more focus. He needs more attention. I need to teach him how to focus. I need to teach him resilience. I need to teach him patience, delayed gratification. So who am I parenting helped me understand that my child is different from others. And I always tell him, you are different. He's the star-wired child. He's a star-wired child. He's always, particular about people's opinion about him. And so I started affirming him, rooting his identity. And one of the things that Inner Circle has helped us with is access to mentoring for boys. Boys Leadership Academy. Please, if you have boys here and they are not in the academy, please put them there. I'm telling you, your work will be easier. Now, my son says, Coach Ebuka is my mentor. Coach Ebuka is my mentor. Any webinar like this is always so invested and interested in it. It became easier. All these things I've been telling him, when Coach Ebuka now came and told him, it now looks as if what I thought we have been saying, we don't know what we're saying. Say, Coach Ebuka said, Coach Ebuka said, Coach Ebuka said, Coach Ebuka said, Coach Ebuka said. I said, okay. So sometimes when he falls out of line, I will say, is that what Coach Ebuka is telling you? So if I tell Coach Ebuka now, that is what I do. You people say, no, don't tell Coach Ebuka, don't tell Coach Ruth. There was a time that he scattered his room. It can be out of himself, but he's teaching him how to comport himself now. And so when I said, I'm going to just snap this your room and send it to Coach Ruth, I said, Coach Ruth, see your boys' room. He said, no, mommy, don't snap it. Don't worry. I said, I'm going to snap it. He said, no, just give me 3 minutes. And Coach, within 3 minutes, he tidied up everywhere. I got to know who is, and I got to know where his weakness lies. I got to know his strength. And my second son too, he does not need. Who am I parenting? Now helped us to know that the strategies we use for each child is different. It does not. The strategy I use for him is different from what I use for my daughter. My daughter is prim and proper. In fact, when she eats, she's very clean. Once she wheezes and small water or small wee enters her mouth like this, she's going to change it. She's a clean girl. But you see, my son is not. In fact, it's the other way around. So it taught me that each of these children, they are different. I got to know what kind of child they are, and with that knowledge, we're not able to help them work on their weakness and their strengths. My daughter now, my daughter, I thought she likes once she comes back from school. She's not the one that she would come back, pull up her uniform, and she will bring out her book. So whatever you're doing in that time, you have to focus on that. She will bring out her book. She wants to do her own fun. In fact, she used to do over her own fun. There was a time that one of her teacher in her last class, she just came and said, my teacher beat me. When I said, why now? What happened? He said, because she beat me because I wrote on my book. So I went to school the next day. Because I didn't get a fight though. But I just went to ask the teacher that, are you beating a 3-year-old child? What happened? What did the child do? He said, the teacher said, because when she was writing in other pages of the book, I said, is it not, don't you want the child to write? The child is already writing and you're beating the child for writing. She's a child. How would you beat her for writing? And I told them, please, we don't beat them at home. I'm like, no, I have to beat her. When the child misbehaves, I have to beat. I said, no. We don't do that at home. In fact, this beating thing, I didn't know that it was already modeling to the children. So there was a day that I just said, was my first son that hit my second son. From where I was just reached out. What happened? He said, I called Zoe. He did not answer me. He was not listening to me. I said, ha. She will now beat him. He said, you and daddy used to beat me when I don't listen. I say, hey, God, what have we done? Hey, God, help us. And I said, no, 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 no. He said, we have promised not to beat you again. That one, it was when we did not know. So, in fact, there was a day that I don't know what he did. Like when he was about 5 years old, his dad was so angry. His dad brought out belt and beat. His dad is on the corner. Even that time, even me myself, that I was also like, my child beat the hell and heaven out of the child. All right, beat the hell and heaven out of the child. So I didn't know. The next day or the next week, he just came right around and he was chasing his children, his brother and sister with belts. He said, I'm going to beat you now. Like that, beat you. I told my wife, come and see. And that was how I repented. So who am I parenting? The second one is seasons of life. Sister Rebina actually helped me learn a lot of things. As a pastor's wife, we used to think that after we pray for our children, that's all. They will just automatically, the prayer will train them up. So we are always busy in church. We are always, we'll be the first to go to church. We'll be the last to leave. After church, the children will just be there, or we'll give them instruction, but children will not listen to instruction. It's good that I said that you have to be an Indaboski repeater. So I have let me be repeating everything. And so I now realize that, like one thing coach said, he said, your children will not stay and wait for you. They are growing. Whatever decision you are making now is affecting them, is wiring them. And I got to understand that, okay, my life, I mean, each season of my life, and this season of my life permits me to do some things and not to do some things. At this season, my children are still small. I have to be there. I have to actually intentionally be invested in them. So seasons of life did it for me. It's changed, restructured me. I just thought that, okay, just tell them what to do and they will do it. I didn't know that I have to be, I was not participating with them. And I realized this children are not just getting this. I realized I have to be with them. I have to teach them. There will be a season where they would have learned and they will be on their own. But at this season of my life, I have to pay more attention to them. And the third one is honor as a skill. I didn't know that we have to honor our children. That even children, there's a way we just commonize and overlook our child and say, maybe I'm my child, I can do anything I like with you. Honor as a skill. Honor it taught me how to honor my husband also intentionally. And honoring my children intentionally. And those parents that will keep the best plate for visitor. There's a way we used to keep it. We say, no, this one is for special this thing. After that webinar, we brought it out. We brought out the person for everybody. You are a king. And since that time, I started telling my children, you are a king. You're not any out person. You're not anybody. You are royalty. You are a queen. It's not a coincidence we named you king. And started affirming them, started honoring them. And in return, they too, it was like they started honoring naturally. And apart from webinars, there are some special courses. Emotional intelligence course. Oh my God. I didn't know how to learn emotional intelligence. I used to be, when things don't go my way, I get very, very, very angry. My emotions just come. When I took emotional intelligence course, that's when I know that as a parent, you have to first of all learn how to control your emotions. And that has helped me. Things I'm supposed to do and react. There was a day that my son was trying to wash plates, and then there was a bath of water in my kitchen. And I just said, "Wah!" on the floor. From where I was, my head first rang a bell that, hey, hope is not. As I go to the kitchen, emotional intelligence, calm down. So instead of me flaring out, I say, what have you done? Why did you throw away this thing? I said, what happened? I learned to ask what happened. And he was like, I wanted to carry the bucket and put on it because I wanted to wash the place. I said, why didn't you get somebody to help you now? And he said, I didn't. I thought I could do it. So it was an honest mistake. If not because of emotional intelligence, I would have just descended on him and reduced him to anything and be angry, and it would even be very nice. So emotional intelligence. Another course is healing from childhood trauma. I used to think I did not have trauma because when the first year in the yard, this is my second year in the yard. I didn't take the course because I was like, the course is for people that have trauma. I don't think I have trauma. We thought that well. I am okay. I am well. And this year, I just said, okay, let's just take the course. But I didn't know that I had trauma. I told my husband, I said, I'm going, all of us, we have trauma. Healing from childhood trauma course. No, that course. It healed me. I didn't know there's some trauma that I was carrying that was passing on to my children unconsciously that I did not know. But after that course, I started working on myself. I have to heal from this. I have to heal from that. Not to take our time. So those are my top 3 webinars. I have lots more, but let me just stop here.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Funmilayo Abayowa. Thank you so much for being here. And yes, we are running out. And of course, you can see that Funmilayo has a lot to tell. See, every other has so much to say. If you allow them, they are going to be hitting back to back. There's so much that Yadas want to say. And trust me, it is very, like, I'm not sure that any other can come here and share up to 10% of what has happened to them. I am not sure. Nobody, all right? Nobody will be able to do that because a whole year of life transformation. So I'm laughing. I saw a chat in one of the cohorts, I think is 1R. Shout out to you guys. One of the new cohorts, 2026 1R. If you are wondering, we have onboarded to 1U. We are going to V, right? We are going to V today. So if you have not been onboarded, you are going to be V, W. By the way, people are paid for 2027. So cohort 1A is filling up again. Oh, God. So we have 2027 already working. I think you, the others are just coming in. Already paying for 2027. And I'm like, what's going on? I said, coach, let's just pay. What is all this? Okay. So yes, so that you will know that people have left you. It's not so I saw that chat and they say, oh, can we join the webinar, the 10 gates of parenting? How do you want to join? If you're not in the yard, why now? Like how? You can't join. And if you join in the middle and receive these bad balls, you are gone. Like, you will not like me for the rest of the year. So please, I don't want you to join now. You will join from the beginning. If you join in the beginning, if you hear in the middle, you're going to be wondering, who the hell does she think she is? So you're going to come small. You get used to all the things that have been said. And then you now press your chest by yourself, and then you'll be all right. When you're now all right, when they're not talking to you, you now know that this is not personal. Coach does not know me. It's not a personal thing. This is just something that is very, very general. I just need to pick my own and run. All right. So somebody, yes, cohort 1A 2027. Yes, you heard me right. So people are moving, right? And you know the interesting thing, it's not going to wait for you. Nobody's going to wait. People are doing stuff. People are, I met an incoming Yada father, right? Who came and said to me, I said, see, I work in oil and gas. I can't be telling myself I don't have time. He said, coach, even if it's 10%, I will do it. I think I will do that 10%. Now, when you see the 10%, you will say, the 10% is 10%, like we say, right? So it is very important that you actually get to your stuff and learn. Get in and learn. We're not in this space where it's now an experience thing. It's not about experiences. No, people are done explaining, really. Somebody called me and said, in a circle, an old classmate. Oh, that she just wants to register. I should, really, really just explain to her what it is that it's going to be about. I tried. When I was done, I said, you know what? Take my intentional parenting journey link. Choose anyone and just watch. I didn't say anyone. Somehow, the one she encountered was a Kemini session. She came back. She said, hey! She was running everywhere. I was like, okay, I don't understand. What happened to you? He said, you didn't need to explain anymore. The experience is enough. So we are now in the gospel of explanation. Experience, no more explanation. We're no longer explaining. Thank you again for joining us today. And yes, we are coming gradually to the end of this conversation. Please name for us. What will be your top three books? Name for us. Just name them. Top three books that you have read in the year.
Okay, top three books. Connect to Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Discipline is not an emergency. I will put Connect to Correct and discipline is not an emergency together, because those two, I didn't have to connect with my child to correct. We just come and correct, no connection. And it's every time the child is doing wrong, we just. Number three, raising the independent thinking child. They're
Okay.
raising the girl with sense and raising the boy. You don't need to bail out. Coach, all the books, if I all of them, I cannot. I was even saying which one is top three. All of them, I thought the parenting advantage, parenting launch plan. I did not know we need launch plan. Even the godly dating and marriage, everything. If I someone saw my library and say, how many of Coach Wendy's books do you have? I say, I have all of them. He said, I said, even this system when we have pre-ordered again. He said, I said, because we did everything. Coach, everything is my top three.
All
Because
righty. Thank you so much, Funmilayo Abayowa. Top three books, the discipline series, the raising series. I don't know about the raising series. Let me see if I can. I think so we have two more raising series in the raising series. All right. And yes, these are all the raising series. So somebody came into the my intentional parenting journey and said, all the raising series best. That's number one best book. I was like, what does that mean? Very, very, very interesting. So yes, the raising series, you have okay, these are the new ones. Raising the social genius, raising the lifelong learner, raising the boy you don't need to bail out, raising the girl with sense, raising the independent thinking child, raising the trophy child, and raising the emotionally skilled child. So my dad read this book, The Trophy Child. I was a trophy child. And my father said, who is Ade? Oh, oh! I said, no, Ade is not me. My mother was very curious. I want to know that protagonist. Who is Ade? That's the way he was saying. I just want to know who Ade is. Let me know what has happened. I had a good laugh when he was asking me those questions. Yes, I just use, Ade is like a fictitious, person. But that represents many of us. Ade represents me. Ade represents the next person who is the trophy child. Ade represents, you know, every person who is in that category. Yes, our stories might not be all like Ade, but trust me, we all have a bit of Ade if you're a trophy child inside all of that. So yes, Ade is you and I. If you were ever a trophy child, Ade is you, Ade is me. So yes, so that is it. Thank you again, Funmilayo Abayowa. Somebody's listening to me now. The pastor's wife. Somebody is a minister of the gospel, he has young children, and they are wondering this thing they are saying. I posted something recently. Somebody said, the Lord will teach me everything I want to know to be in the inner circle. And person even quoted the scripture for me. My children shall be taught of the Lord, and great shall be their peace. I said, come on now. All righty. So, yes, anybody who is listening to you that you want to speak to in the next 2 minutes, over to you.
all right, thank you so much. If you are listening to me, I want to beg you, please learn parenting. Join the inner circle. Prayer will not train your child, though. Hey, in fact, there was a scripture where Moses was overwhelmed with the children of Israel. The Holy Spirit did not tell him what to do. It was his father-in-law Jethro that
Mm,
gave him the strategy that he used, and that saved his life. What
mm,
God has given to somebody, God will not tell you by himself again. We tell you to go and meet the person. And I'm
fire.
telling you today that TIP is God ordained. God has raised TIP for you. Anything about parenting, enter the yard. Flood is here already. Prayer, there's a place for prayer. There's a place for training. There's a place for prayer. There's a place for training, please. Prayer will not train that child. Prayer will not do what you have to do. In fact, what you have to do, God will not do it for you. God has
Yeah.
done his own part, and
Yeah.
he's doing his own part. Our own part is to train, and part of training is to go and learn. Don't you wonder, before you become a doctor or even before you become a pastor, some people went to theology school now. We went to train for all these things. So how do we think that we don't need knowledge to raise these children? Please remember that we would give account for them. God will
Yeah.
ask us. We will give account. God trusts us. That was why he gave them to us. And he trusts us to train them up in the way of the Lord. This is part of training up in the way of the Lord. God has entrusted them to us, and he's now directing us to where we will get the knowledge to train them. Please, if you have not joined the inner circle, please join. Don't think the money is too much. Think of is how much is my son's future worth? How much is my daughter's future worth? What is the worth of your child's future? What is the worth? What is the worth? This money we spend it on a normal day. If you don't, how much is we spend on a normal day? Can you just prioritize your child's investment, your child's future, and say this is for your investment? Coach said, sell your wigs and buy wings for your children. I told
Yes,
somebody,
sir.
someone said, you need to buy wig. I said, this wig, I have money to buy wig, but I'm buying wigs for my children because I know there will be a time. See these wigs I'm even buying, they will go out of fashion. When it's time, we will buy plenty wigs, but this time around, I am buying wings. Let your children look back and tell you thank you. You see this inner circle, we are here for life. In fact, I was telling my husband that this is a generational inheritance. They are going to be inheriting it. We are passing it down to our children. Once they are 18 years old, we're going to join inner circle, TIP. Well, like I was telling somebody that one of the criteria for marriage is we ask the child, is your parents in the inner circle? When did they join the inner circle? And the guy started laughing. I said, no, because there is no time for any otherness. We cannot have raised a child like this, and then the child will not get married anyhow. No. So please, your children are counting on you. Your children, the future of your children are telling you, please make this investment. This is the best investment you ever make for your child. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Funmilayo Abayowa. Funmilayo
Thank you so much,
Abayowa
ma'am.
is the head girl of TIP in Lori. Thank you so much for being here. And she's also the founder of Exceptional Virtuous Woman Network, a movement raising women of value, virtue, and godly influence. Yes, a pastor's wife. And yes, she is a mother of 3 wonderful children. Thank you for coming here today to share with us. And Funmilayo is the one that gave me horse to also climb on. I don't know who suggested that horse, but I think it's Fumi that suggested it. I've not had that conversation with you. But please, don't give me a name of the coin. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time. I love you. I honor you. Thank you so much.
Coach, when next you come to Lori, we have another surprise for you.
Please, I beg, not a horse. Thank you so much for being here. It is an honor to have you. I really, really, really appreciate that. If you're not ready to make investments into your life or your parenting, it will fail. There's no other way to it. That's why we're having parents now who didn't make plans for their future when it comes to retirement and how they are going to actually be taken care of. That's why we're having what we're having today. Children who are overburdened and all of that, because I read, it's one thing to know how to make money, it's another thing to know how to multiply it. There are two different things. And it's only knowledge that gets you to multiply money. Same thing with parenting. It's only knowledge that gets you to multiply value. You can be a valuable person as a parent and raise it yours. The fact that you are a good person doesn't automatically equal to the fact that your children will be raised well. Trust me. So all these, I know what I'm doing. I know God. My children will never, apple will not fall far from the tree. There is a translation of value that happens. If you don't know how to translate it, even you, the person who has the biggest of everything, value infused everything, we have them everywhere. But if you don't know how to translate it, it will fail. That's why Eli failed. That's why Solomon failed. That's why David failed. It's not because they were not virtuous people. It's not because they were not valuable people, because there is there is a translation that must happen. If it doesn't happen, no, that apple will fall very far from that tree. And you'll be so shocked. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to let you go now because, yes, we run out of time. Have an amazing day, you, and see you at 10. Alrighty.
Yes.
If you have listened to my intentional parenting journey this morning, just listen to Funmilayo Abayowa. Funmilayo Abayowa is a yarder through and through, right? She's been in the yard and there've been a lot of, work, and she shared a lot of workings. There was a particular part of the Bible she shared that struck me. She said, and I quote, when Moses was distressed, overwhelmed, she actually cried to God. As in, God didn't send him help by himself. He sent him help through a human being. I heard something yesterday. My pastor said something, Shuparemu will say that there is Holy Ghost and there's human ghosts. If you get it, you get it. Alrighty. This is where I call it a day today. And yes, the inner circle fee is currently at 140,000 per year. The whole of the year, all right? The whole of the year, that's what you get to pay. And you get to listen to all these webinars, every week. And you get to listen to the things that, the thing is that it just transforms your life. Yesterday, it was Pastor Felix, right? Who is a grandfather and a father who is also a yada, that was saying something yesterday, Reverend Felix. He said, the inner circle, the kind of rema, he said, yes, it has made my ministry better. I now preach better. Because the kind of rema that I'm able to give, the kind of things that happen to me, right? It's not something I can explain. That's the only inner circle that can give you that. And he was explaining one of the voice notes he heard about Samson and how I was actually trying to explain the life of Samson. Honestly speaking, I can't even remember that voice note. It's not me. It's not me. You think it's Coach Wendy? It's not me. It's not about me. That's nothing to do with me. I'm just a vessel, right? And if you get it, you actually get it. Thank you again for sharing your experience. Chinyere said the weather is too hot. Weather is too hot. It's very cold from where I'm coming from. I'm just coming from the UK, and it's very cold. As in, you guys need some warming up. UK yarders are like over 1,000 yarders. You guys are a multitude, so let's come from there. Thank you again, and again, and again. Dr. Happiness, even if the apple falls close to the tree, how good is the tree? I love it. Yeah, that's insightful people. Thank you so much for joining us. And there's something that I read recently. I think it was Brenda. Brenda said, when you come to the inner circle, you see everybody who comes out. You see that this person is doing something, founder of this thing, doing something. We're not a fools around down here. You get into the yard, something changes immediately. Something changes immediately. Something tears up in you and you become. And that's why I say, if you need to borrow money to be here, borrow money to be here. And I can say that will be the last you ever have to borrow if you really do the work. And I say it with all sense of responsibility to who it is that I've become and I am. Except you don't do the work. It's not nobody will do the work for you. The work is there for you to be done. But if you sit out and do the work, that's it. It will transform your finances. It will transform your faith. It will transform everything about you. Your life will take another turn. It's only 23 days to go for Inner Circle Countdown. We currently are onboarding. We've onboarded cohort A, B, C, D to you. And we're getting into onboarding cohort B, right? We do cohort A to Z, right? That's what we do. As soon as we get to Z, that's it. So don't think that the Inner Circle doesn't have a limit. Anytime I want to come in, I will come in. 23 days to go. If you come in tomorrow and this onboarded, that means you wait for next year. So don't be in that category. You wait for 1 year. I was talking to somebody who works, who I do business with. I just started doing business with him earlier on this year. And then he said, I heard you talk about the Inner Circle. I paid. I thought I was just going to be inside. I did not know that I have to wait. I just heard that he paid sometime in January. I said, really? you thought you were going to just jump in. Nobody jumps in into the inner circle. Never. If the ark closes on the 1st of December, like Yada said, not even Noah will have the key to open the ark. So jump in now. Jump in now, or you are out. Jump in now, or you are out. Please don't be out. It's not that no matter how long you wait, your children are going to be growing on a daily basis. So remember that you want to actually be part of something, be great to be. If you're a new Yada, you are an incoming Yada, let me see you share the fire emoji. You need to learn how to share the fire emoji. But you're not a Yada yet until the 1st of December. And I'm sure that when you sit down on that induction, you will know why I said you're not a Yada yet. Do you think we're a joke to you? Being a Yada is not a joke something. When you enter, then you will know that, I have come. This will be the most structured thing you have had to witness in your life. I can assure you that. Trust me. Just wait for it. December 1st, you will be blown away. We make a lot of noise because we live up to the noise. We don't make empty noises. We're not a hype. This is not, we're just hyping the system. No. This is the real hype. The real hype. The hype. TIP is the hype. Thank you again. I can see a lot of can't wait. Share the fire emoji if you can find it. It's only others that know where fire emojis are. All right. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for joining me. I look forward to having you others at 10. At 10, we go again because hey, now 10. You see this webinar. The Lord will deliver all of us today in this webinar. Everything, including myself. Those kind of webinars that you are coming for, just come for deliverance. That's what you should come for, yeah? Come for deliverance, and that will be it. All right. I see you, Mr. Dogara. Thank you so much for being here. I see the Yada Fathers. Shout out to you guys. You guys are amazing. And I see you, Tekena Sandra. Tekena Sandra is a new Yada incoming, but a name that I've stuck in my head for a while now. I've seen you at almost every my intentional parenting journey. I can't count anyone that haven't seen you yet. Shout out to you. You are Yadaring in a way that can Yada, and she's an incoming Yada. Awesome, something to watch. Thank you so much, and do have an amazing day. But when you're coming to today's webinar, come with your humility and mother. Come with your humility and mother. Come with your yellow blanket with red trimmings. Add a green blanket on top, because November is a general collection system. We all collect, cover ourselves with blankets, and we come back and become okay. But we'll be all right. Thank you again, and do have an amazing day. Yadas, see you in the yard.
Common phrases in the inner circle. Let's go.
You're coming for an inner circle webinar, and you're not with your yellow blanket with red trimmings. Is that even a joke?
Oh, I'm running and I'm not looking back because 10,000 lions are chasing me. I have watched all the webinars, but today, Coach came with a bazooka.
Even with my humility agbada, I still collected.
If you're not in the ark, you better enter now because flood na bia o.
In the inner circle, we dey walk and they show.
TIP police is coming for you. There is no need harness here.
You definitely cannot relate because you are not in the yard.
If you are not in the yard,
why not?